Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome back to Taste of Reality. My name is Queenie for those who don't know me, and we are reviewing Married at First Sight, Season 14, the damn reunion. Oh, some people are in here. Katina's new wig, hallelujah, mercy. Y'all so shady. Lindsay is a mess, an entire mess. You're here in your early joy. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, before we get into it, as always, please make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell if you're watching um, the replay, obviously be in the comments, but you don't want to be out of the loop next week. So make sure you tune in live. Okay. Okay. Listen, your girl done stepped away for a few days from YouTube. She done gained a little weight or whatever, but it's all good. We're here to talk. We're here to chop it up. So first of all, initial impressions. How did y'all feel about this reunion? Do you feel like they addressed everything you want to be addressed, at least in part one? Do you like that Kevin is back in the studio? Initial thoughts before we get into the mess. Shaquita Powell says she is so mean-spirited. I've never, ever seen somebody read somebody else to filth like that on Married at First Sight. But honestly, we can't be surprised. It's true to nature. Lindsay has been a bully to Mark, so it's really not that surprising. Hi, Charisse. It's really not that surprising at all. I wish it ended differently for Mark, especially since he's been waiting for how long to be on this damn show, you know what I mean? So finally he gets to be picked, and then this is how it ends for him. Poor thing, poor thing, poor thing. But yeah, initial thoughts. How did y'all feel? In my opinion, Kevin pressed Jasmina and Mike, but not the other couples as much. I agree with you, Joy, absolutely. I do like that he did put their ass to the fire, both of them, but I wanted that energy for Olajuwon as well, which we didn't get. He definitely could have given that to Lindsay too. He gave it a little bit, but not enough. But yeah, I do agree with you. I wanted Kevin to ask more in-depth questions. He has been harder on participants in the past. I think what they're trying to do is address things that we have been asking, like we, the audience, throughout the season. And then next week is really when they're going to delve into it, especially with the experts. So I think that's what they're trying to do. Yeah. Good night, Carrie. Mocha Mima says, Jasmina is an ice queen for real. Ooh, you think so? I think, we're going to get into it a little bit later. I needed Kevin to do more. He was handing out pots and pans on the back. Huh? He was handing out pats on the back. Oh my gosh, I cannot read. Get into it, please. Yes, I 1000% agree. So let's get into it. Let's start with the beginning, right? So, yes, I got my little screenshots or whatever. We're trying to be professional over here, okay? So out the gate, I appreciated that they didn't give us a whole season recap like some reunions do, and that they had everybody sit there and address certain comments, right? Out the gate, we have Lindsay making insults about Mark, and she basically was saying dealing with him was like having 3 jobs, and he obviously was bothered by that. And I'm just like, it must pain her to be a nice person. It must, because it costs you nothing to be a decent human being, yet every time she chooses to go low, she chooses to be mean, and I'm just like, whew, mercy. Bree says Kevin got on my nerves. He didn't do what needed to be done. Yeah. Lindsay is a bully. Absolutely, absolutely. Yay for Chris standing his ground. So proud of him. Alyssa's still lying and is still not a good person. Yeah. I definitely think that, okay, Kevin being back in the studio definitely does add more. But like you guys are saying, we have seen him go in a little bit more in the past. I will, however, say I liked watching him more this time around because it wasn't as much favoritism as there tends to be. I feel like when he has his people that he likes, he goes really soft, and he gave a little bit of energy to most of the people, but it definitely wasn't the same kind of favoritism that we got in the past. So he definitely could have handed them more more vim, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Okay, so since we're talking about Lindsay, some of you guys are saying Lindsay needs therapy. Mercy. Um, where are my comments? There it is. Yeah. And Lindsay will double down. Absolutely. So apparently, Noi and Lindsay are close. However, Lindsay, she shared information with a producer apparently that Noi and Steve had consummated the marriage. She was throwing digs at Noi back at the couples retreat, basically saying like, oh, a jobless husband and a stay-at-home wife, like how's that gonna work? So I'm like, Noi, if this is your girl, if this is your girl, please come and tell us why you would let her talk to you and about you in this way. Because now it's not only like us who feel a way about her. It's not only Katina who feels a way about her, but like Noi and Steve and allegedly a producer are all saying like this woman is not going to keep a secret to save her life. She's going to always throw jabs at any opportunity she gets. Like she's just not nice. And unfortunately for her, she thinks she's a good person in the words of Alyssa, and she condemns Alyssa for the way that she acted, but she's been exhibiting similar behavior, if not worse. You know what I mean? We're going to get to her deeper later on, but I definitely was just annoyed with Lindsay. I didn't like how they kept telling Michael how he was just Jasmina's friend. We're going to get into that. We are going to get into that. Odd that Noi and Lindsay are close. Absolutely. I didn't see that dynamic play out in this season. However, knowing how she was talking about you, both in your presence and not in your presence, that's no friend of mine. Hi, Tom. I'm doing well today. Thank you. Why would a producer be messy like that? Honestly, most of these shows, it seems like the cast gets in really close with the producers, and some of them, like, they're genuine friends. So I don't know. See, here's the thing. I would never be friends with a producer because I don't know what's for show and what is genuine friendship, right? Because at the end of the day, their job or their loyalty is to their job. They're here to sell a narrative. They're here to sell you a story. And you might think they're friends. They're your friends. But in the back end, they're really just trying to get some tea or get a reaction out of you. So yeah, typically people do end up being friends with producers. Like I know in certain casting situations, like you get in really close with these people. Like I have casting directors from a show that I applied for, like in my phone, just as their first name. There's people that I could text literally today if I wanted to. So the barrier does break, but I'd be cautious. I would definitely be cautious. Producers definitely do always do that. Do I think Lindsay is just bitter or a narcissist? I tend not to try and diagnose people on my channel because I don't have that authority. I'm just gonna say she's mean. I don't even think it's bitter because she started off being mean. So I don't think there's anything that Mark could have done to make her this way. But we're going to get into them a little bit later. We're going to go in order. And we are going to start with Olajuwon and Katina. Okay. So I have literally so many notes on these two. Kevin thought that there was no way they would work, but they complement each other nicely. Where, Kevin, where? Where do they complement each other nicely? Because all I see is a man who verbally berated his wife and a woman who just sat there and took it. And I feel like if they had made a turnaround in the season, I would have liked to see it because we ended the season even with him saying her food is inedible. I guess, she put in enough work for me to basically award her by staying in this relationship. I'm just like, this is not a relationship to praise. Kevin, what are we praising here? Kevin just be saying anything. He really does. I'm like, Kevin, I need you to have an opinion of your own, babes, because what are you talking about? They still should not be together. Even the way that he was talking throughout this reunion, I was like, that's problematic. That's also problematic. That's also problematic. We're going to get into that, definitely. Blink twice, Katina. Actually, for real. So Olajuwon says he needs to work on his tone, right? He admits that the way that he spoke to her was not okay and that the issue was not the words being said, but actually the tone. Now, riddle me this, y'all who are watching. What tone would you use to tell another person that they do not measure up as a husband or a wife? As a human, you are insufficient. What tone would that be perceived nicely? What tone could somebody use? There is not a damn tone in the world that could have a phrase like that or even the essence of that kind of message go over nicely, smoothly, whatever word you want to use. So I'm like, no, Olajuwon, what you're not understanding is that your verbiage altogether is wrong. Tone is definitely an issue. But the words that you use to describe your wife, the words that you use to demean her character, to demean her position that she plays in your life, are words that you need to eradicate from your vocabulary altogether. The whole "you're not woman enough," "she doesn't measure up," "she's behind me," "she doesn't have life skills," all these things. I'm like, this is not a tone issue. This is a verbiage issue. You don't measure up as a man, Isaac. You're not tall enough. Okay? You got to be this tall to ride this ride. But Katina ain't never going to stand up to this man. That's the saddest part of it all. Oh, my gosh. I wonder what order the parts were filmed in, because he says more stupid things next week. Yeah. I feel like the section with the experts must have come before, because he had this big revelation when he was sitting on the couch with Katina and what's his name, Kevin. But these little snippets that we're getting from next week, I guess the way that we would check is check her finger to see if she's wearing the ring that he gave her. We'll see. You're not man enough, Isaac. Okay, purr. So it was nice to hear Katina speak up more. I will say that. I felt like he definitely gave her room to express her opinion rather than speaking for her, which is what he did for most of the season. And she claims that he no longer needs a hot meal, right? He says for him, the reason why he no longer needs that is that, self-reflection has showed him that, maybe he was asking for too much. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. Check the preview again. No, for real. Somebody go sleuth the preview. I think he still has those demands. Maybe not as fervently, I don't know why that's the word that came to mind, as he had them before, but I definitely think he still expects a Stepford housewife type of arrangement. And you know what's funny about this whole situation? A man who wants that kind of woman, the traditional woman, because he claims to be a traditional man, wouldn't complain about the fact that she is still in school, because typically those women wouldn't even be in school, right? Wouldn't complain at the fact that she's not established in her career. Wouldn't complain at the fact that he would have to pay off her debt. Wouldn't complain about the fact that he would have to take care of the children on top of taking care of her. Like, you say you want a traditional woman, yet you want her to do modern things. You can't have it both ways. You probably can have it both ways, but a traditional man does not ask for the certain things he was asking for, nor does he complain about having to be the sole provider of this household. Just admit the fact that you had these very skewed perceptions of what marriage was. And when you realized you weren't going to get that out of your person, you did not know how to handle it. He had a revelation that his ways made him look bad on television. Absolutely. I don't know if he had PR training. I don't know if Katina grabbed him by the throat and said, listen, you're not going to make me look stupid even further. But it absolutely was not self-reflection. Please, miss me with that. Remember, he asked for someone already established and done with school. I understand that, Alyssa, but again, that's not a traditional man. A traditional man wouldn't care if she was in school, establishing career, none of that. True traditional man accepts the traditional gender roles where the man is the sole breadwinner and the woman is the caretaker. She breeds the children, breeds. She takes care of the home, and she be spending your money. She don't need her own money, so he lying. He's lying. He's lying. The fact that the fact O thought he was saying something, telling the audience that you had to hang in the, oh my gosh, I'm gonna get into that. I am going to get into that. Don't you worry. But let's talk about, thank you, Erica. Let's talk about this engagement. Okay, since it was brought up by Luckily Charmed. O says that her hard work doesn't go unnoticed, right? And that the reason why he's proposing is to prove to her that, you know, she really has worked hard and she's put in the effort, and this is his grand gesture and showing her that, you know, good job, good on you, Katina, you're a great woman, you know? So he basically said, F all of y'all, you know, he's like, when everybody on Twitter, when everybody on social media was going in on us, she stuck around and she blah, blah, blah. And I'm here like, I understand. We get a very skewed perception of their relationship. However, the camera can only make up so much. You know what I mean? The camera can only force a narrative so much. He was giving us so much material to back up the perception that we had of him, which is he's egotistical, has narcissistic tendencies, is a very rigid man, potentially verbally abusive. Like, these aren't things that we were pulling out of our ass. These are not things we were pulling out of our ass. So to bring up this comment again, the fact O thought he was saying something, telling the audience that if you hang in there with a verbally abusive man, you too can have a husband, made me roll my eyes, okay? So literally he said, this is how I wrote it down, even though that's not how it happened. He said, you need to give a toxic man the benefit of the doubt, because look at Katina smiling with a ring. Excuse me? Excuse me? So you're saying I must put up with abuse. I must put up with being mistreated, being shut down, not feeling valued, being constantly demeaned by a person who's supposed to be my life partner, so that at the end of the day, I can show everybody that I have a ring on my finger. Listen, I'm one of those people who wants to be married. That's one of the life goals that I want to achieve, right? Marriage is not the end all and be all of life. And just because you are married, it does not equate happiness. So Olajuwon, miss me with the bullshit talking about, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to cuss in this live. Miss me with the bullshit talking about, oh, but look at her, now she's smiling with a ring. And if at the end of the day, I'm miserable in this marriage, you can keep your ring. I don't want it. Oh my gosh, like I was so vexed that he basically was saying, you got to put up with the BS to be the victor at the end. No, that is not a way to live a life. That's not a way to carry out a marriage. And the fact that he says that proves that he has not had self-reflection. He has not developed. He has not evolved. He's still the same man we met at the beginning of the damn season. Man. O will never be satisfied with Katina. If he isn't complaining about her food, he'll find something else to complain about. Just wait until they have kids. He will call her a lousy mother. Honestly, TJ, I want to hope that would never be the case, but I feel like he's always looking for insufficiencies in her. Where are her deficits and how can I point them out to kind of like lift himself up almost? You know, because in the same hand that he would dog her, he would say, you know, and I'm doing all these things, and that is why I qualify to be a husband. That is why I am a good man. That is why, you know what I mean? Like, he would disqualify her in order to qualify himself. Disgusting. 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 What else? Oh, there was something that I wrote. Okay, there's two things that shocked me. This episode was the first time that they had shared I love yous, or I guess she had said I love you to him. They also were not having sex during, well, they haven't explicitly said that they had sex during the experiment, but they did consummate after decision day, which I still think is not true. But if that's what they said, then that's what they said. However, Olajuwon alluded to the fact that they were sexual throughout the season. And now that I believe, because I feel like there's no way that you go from Olajuwon at the bachelor party, throwing himself at the dancers, and then not wanting to be physical at all with Katina. Please. And the way that she was acting, I was like, oh, this girl getting dick down. She's getting dick down. She must be. She must be. Oh my goodness, Chindi, good God. The Halloween costume Katina is wearing is perfect for this mess she wants to live in. Listen, the only thing we're gonna talk about in people's appearance is like a wig or something like that, because y'all know I don't do the whole coming for appearance, but I'm not gonna lie, the wig comments are funny. I'm not gonna lie, they're funny. Last thing I want to talk about, that actually two more, dang, there's so much on them. So he had said that he overreacted, and we had heard him say this on the after show as well. He overreacted in regards to the dating app situation, right? How's this man gonna say he was shocked that nobody pulled him aside to tell him that his behavior was inappropriate? So, when we the public were saying these cast members, these experts are enabling his behavior, they would rebuttal, whether it's on social media or on the after show, that's not the case. Olajuwon is just passionate. We do call him aside and he fixes behavior, blah, 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 blah. But this man is even saying with his own mouth that he was shocked that nobody pulled him aside to tell him that his behavior was inappropriate. But we the fans are delusional. We the fans are misreading him. He's just passionate. Dr. Pepper did try to call him out, absolutely, but I think he's referring to like other castmates, like people who were around when certain things would happen. Like, why didn't they say something to him? Definitely Dr. Pepper tried. I felt like she also could have held his ass to the fire more. Maybe she did and we didn't get to see it, but too many people were enabling his behavior. Whether it was the cast, whether it was production, whether it was the experts, whether it was his own damn coach, all excusing his behavior just for the man to turn around and look at everybody and say, damn, y'all should have called me out. Imagine. 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 That's right. Just clownery all over the place. So the last thing I wanted to say about them, it's a lot to ask the other couples to get involved in their marriage. Yes and no. I think that maybe it's because I'm used to the abroad versions where literally it's normal for the couples to chime in on each other's progress and stuff. But the people on Married at First Sight US are claiming to all truly be friends, right? And so I think stepping into one person's marriage is one thing, but like checking your friend's behavior, that's a duty that you do as a friend, you know? And we see a preview in the next episode where Olajuwon is calling out Lindsay for her behavior. So like clearly when you have a relationship with somebody and they're not acting right, it's your duty as a person in their life to say, hey, 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 that's not okay. So I hear you. It is a lot to ask, and it's not their job either. However, if you're claiming to be my friend, I need you to check me. That's me. Personally, I need people in my life to pull me aside and say, girl, you tripping. Get it together. I thought he was referencing the men not checking on him. I don't know who he was talking about. But if the person who we said needed to be checked is complaining about not being checked, then clearly we were not the delusional ones when they were on here on the after party basically saying, you guys don't understand him. He's just passionate. You guys don't understand him. He means well, blah, blah, blah. No, the man y'all are trying to defend is even calling out his own behavior. That's how you know. That's how you know. That's how you know. Thank you, Fedora. Michael was literally looking at Olajuwon with googly eyes whenever he was speaking. Like, no, Michael, this ain't who you want to be like. Okay? All right. So last but not least, talking about them, he said he sold his home actually during the process because he wanted a fresh start. The same man who went in on Katina about not following the steps that you're supposed to follow in order to, live life the right way, sold his home that he used as one of the accolades to prove himself to be a better adult than Katina. He sold it. Now they live in an apartment. Well, ain't that funny? Listen, he was... Yeah, that house was atrocious. Can't lie to you. That house was atrocious. Listen, all I'm saying is I don't believe in this reformed behavior. I always wish everybody well at the end of the show. All I'm saying is, Katina, I hope you're not moving like the Katina that we witnessed during the season. I don't know what was happening behind the scenes, but whatever was displayed in front of the camera, I hope she is nothing close to that at all. Nothing close to that at all. I'm not buying the change either. Oh, yeah, his change, yeah, absolutely. Katina's pushing back at times, but Paige, sad. This is true. Real estate market is good now. Isaac needs that money. But it wasn't even that. Like, I just wanted him to realize that there isn't one way to live life. There isn't one road to success. And just because somebody's taken another path does not mean they need to be, criticized for it. So clearly he sees that, I bought a home or whatever, but sometimes you got to sell, things change, plans change. That's all. That's it. And that's final. We are moving on to the hot mess that is Chris and Alyssa. Some of the comments I'm skipping, not because I don't want to read your message, but because I want us to stay on topic. So right now we're talking about Chris and Alyssa, okay? So Alyssa says the reason why she wanted to split time at the apartment was because they both live far and they didn't want to commute. So she thinks we're dumb. She thinks we're stupid. She wanted to spend time with her girls, okay? She didn't want to get fined. She didn't want to spend no time with that man. And so she wanted to be in that apartment so she could live her best life while also not having to deal with, what's his name, on their off days. Like, girl, quit lying. We're not stupid. We are not stupid. I'm a good person. Chris, I'm the good person. Listen, she is an amazing person, you guys. You guys just don't understand her. And even though it's a running joke that, she is a good person, she truly is a good person. Okay? Calling him a low-end real estate agent, a used car salesman. She hates him. Guys, these are all terms of endearment. Do you guys not know how to speak life into people? That's how you do it. That's how you speak life into somebody. You call them the scum of the earth because that's what good people do. You're missing it. You're absolutely missing it, y'all. She's an amazing human being. An amazing human being. And you can't tell her any different. And honestly, I side with her. She's a good person. She she is. Mm. Yep. Yep. That's it. She's a good person, y'all. She's a good person. So Alyssa claims that she came in with the best intentions, right? At least she apologized for acting out, but she said that it was all, it was all for the best. But then she also said she wasn't aware of her actions. So like the things that she was saying about him, both on camera and on the side with producers, or maybe in her little confessionals and stuff, like she wasn't aware of that behavior. Were you not aware when Chris was calling you out? Were you not aware when producers were trying to get you together? Were you not aware when your own mother said you need to get it together? You weren't aware? Girl, I swear to y'all, Alyssa thinks we're dumb. Alyssa thinks we're dumb. Oh my gosh. The experts did me. Child. She said the experts did her dirty and that she went in trusting that they would pick a good person for her. And the fact that they didn't pull through means that they betrayed her. Babe, if you had these stringent criteria, if you had this stringent criteria of the kind of partner you wanted to be with, don't put your trust in 3 people you have never met. And the reality is, when it comes to marriage, of course, physical attraction is important. We know this. Everybody's lying if they say physical attraction has nothing to do with your attraction to somebody. You want to wake up to a tree monster? No, you do not. However, that's not the end all and be all of a marriage. There are characteristics that people need to come in with, that help nurture the relationship, help push each other, help each other grow both individually and as a partnership. And although she kind of made it seem like Chris didn't have those, she said the things that she heard from the groomsmen were the reasons why she didn't want to deal with him. She did not possess those characteristics herself. She is not a nice person. She's not compassionate. She doesn't listen. She's rude. She's disrespectful. She's shallow. And you were never going to make it work, even with the best person. Even with the person who she thought was absolutely picture perfect, it was never going to work because at her core, she doesn't possess the characteristics that make a relationship last, honestly. She doesn't. I don't know if it's bundles or whatever. I have no idea, y'all. I have no idea. I didn't watch, but did they play the clips of her roasting him? Sure did. Sure did. Sure did. Alyssa is a Karen. Speaking of, the one thing that I did agree with her on was when she said that fundamentally they didn't align. And if you guys remember, they were having separate conversations about, I think it was defunding the police and how she didn't believe in that, whereas he did. Clearly, I mean, wherever you stand on that, it's up to you, you know what I mean? But clearly, that is a very big break for a lot of people. Not just that topic, but that topic leads to a host of other topics. And I would assume that Alyssa is more of a Karen type, whereas Chris, is a little bit more liberal, a little bit more, y'all know where I'm going. I don't want to say certain things because I don't want to label somebody something because, I'm not trying to get into no political debate on here. So yeah, they definitely had that, those separate conversations. So I would agree with her and say fundamentally they don't agree. Like maybe she needed somebody who had those same beliefs as her. Whether or not you think that they're problematic yourself, it's a valid opinion for her to have. And definitely not being on the same side of those conversations adds to discourse in the relationship. So if she would have harped on stuff like that and then added the whole, physical attraction wasn't there, maybe I would believe her. But she had already discounted this man based off of the things that the friends said that he hadn't even proved to be true at that point. I do believe that Chris can maybe come off condescending sometimes because it seems like he likes to be a person who's right, but she couldn't use that as an argument because she hadn't even seen that happen yet. So no, girl, come on. Hey, Ramel. I can understand differences in core values, but she should have communicated that to him. She told everyone else but Chris. Absolutely. Absolutely. And for the longest time, she didn't want to say it was about attraction and she didn't want to say it was about values. It literally was the things that the groomsmen said at the wedding, point blank. You know, for the longest time, that was her excuse. And then later on, when Chris would challenge her a little bit more, then she had all these other reasons. And I think like what she chose in the beginning was what she was going to stand on until she found more evidence. Luckily for her, she did find more evidence that she could use that we actually do agree with. But girl, you didn't give this man a chance. Literally, the shady ass production was like, I don't like snaggletooth. I don't like real estate, like guys. I don't like blah, blah, blah. And Chris was everything she was saying she didn't like. So they were already foreshadowing that as soon as she laid eyes on that man, it was done. It was done. It was done. Absolutely. Yes, sunny days. We are absolutely glad it is over. Honestly, y'all, I'm gonna put the reunion up there. I can't lie. I think they did it very well. I like that they didn't play super long clips, and I like that they played clips in reference to what was being said at the moment. Like I felt like it was a more well-rounded reunion than what we're used to seeing. It was good, can't lie. But I'm glad it's over still. I'm glad it's over still. Yep. Exactly. Chris had one post about defunding the police. He wasn't out here protesting, but that was enough for her to say, you know, she didn't want that because she doesn't believe in defunding the police, right? And so, like, I don't know what else they didn't agree on, but if that was all that he showed, that was enough for her to be like, see, fundamentally, we don't agree. Yes, Ramel, go and watch it. It's not anything like super dramatic, but I would say it was a well-rounded reunion. I can't lie. It was. Hello, Princess Henderson. Nice to have you. Definitely be a part of the conversation because we got lots to talk about. I'm loving you in this corner bubble with the images behind you. Thank you. It's all about elevation on the Queenie channel, okay? We're trying to make this more interactive, especially since it's live and I don't have the clips and stuff, right? So Chris says he wasn't conflicted at all about ending the relationship. He is dating where she isn't, right? I don't think she is, but he basically said that in experiencing Alyssa, he now dates differently and he asks deeper questions earlier on so that he knows where he stands with the people that he's entertaining. And I think that that's a great thing to take away. You know, you don't want to get comfortable with somebody and then realize fundamentally we're mismatched or unequally yoked, if you want to use that. So, I mean, at least he had a positive outcome. Thank you, Ashley B. At least he had a positive outcome. So who was together? Noi and Steve. Oh, and Olajuwon and Katina. But yeah, that's it. So everybody saying yes was absolutely a smokescreen, and we knew that. We absolutely knew that. Groomsmen should have been nicer about Chris. He seems really nice. Honestly, I don't like how Married at First Sight even portrays that wedding day. The fact that the little blurb that the family writes about the person is normally something that's almost a defamation of character. And then at the wedding, you have everybody telling all these stories that doesn't help in creating a good first impression about this person. Like, I don't like the way that they format it at all. I think they're setting people up for failure. The one thing about Alyssa that I kind of do agree on is like, if you give very, to the T descriptions of what you want and they give you the opposite of that, I feel like that's wrong. I do blame her on how she acted because at the end of the day, you can still be a decent human. However, if I'm saying I don't want somebody with snaggle teeth, why would you give me that? And if I'm saying I want somebody tall, why would you give me somebody short? If I'm saying, you know what I mean? Like, I understand some things you got to work past the physical, but it's like they be setting these people up for real, from the physical, from the way that they present the other person with the little blurbs. It's a lot. It's a lot. I wonder who will last because people really end the marriage after the reunion. This is true. But honestly, the remaining couples, I actually think that they're going to make it. I don't want them to, but I think they're going to make it. When is the new season? It airs Sorry. It airs July 6th. I'm tempted. Because I saw on MAFS fan the couples that are going to be in the new season. I think it's in Nashville. I'm tempted. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Okay, so we're done with these two. Moving on to Michael and Jasmina. All right. So we all know the communication was their biggest downfall, right? And Jasmina says that she still thinks that Michael was aggressive earlier on. And for him, he said that he was scared to even talk to her. Like, they didn't really talk that first month because he didn't want anything else he said to come off as aggressive. Now, they did bring up the fact that, being a black man and hearing that word is a trigger. And she was saying, well, I'm a black woman and I understand what that word means. And if I'm saying it, it's probably because it's true. I think it's really hard to make a judgment because we didn't see the conversation. They were always referencing things that happened off camera. However, whenever she would say Michael had a tone, I would pick up more on her tone than I would Michael's. So I'm even finding it hard to believe that Michael was aggressive. And honestly, I don't even really see Michael as aggressive. Like, don't take this the wrong way, but I see him as aggressive as like a chihuahua. Let me explain. When a chihuahua pipes up, you're kind of just like, okay. Whereas if a big dog pipes up, you're like, whoo, all right, let me just, you know what I mean? I could see him flipping off at the mouth, but I wouldn't really see him as aggressive. I don't know. It definitely is giving projection. Absolutely. Yes, you are correct. They do set them up. Jasmina's so frustrating. Just because he is passive about his responses and may not be in the tone that you wanted does not equate to aggressive. Probably said something she didn't like. I think that as well. And even the friend called her out and said, first of all, you don't like any tone that anyone speaks to you in. So the fact that you're upset at Michael for having a tone isn't really a valid argument because you just be on one always. And even Jasmina herself has a tone that I don't think she recognizes as she speaks. So I almost feel like, when you're having a conversation with somebody and the energy makes you want to go where they are, where coming into the conversation, you were never planning to go there, but I'm going to match you. I feel like that's what she does. I feel like she takes it to a next level. And the only way that your argument can be heard is if you join her there. And unfortunately, if the person doesn't recognize that they're on 8 and you've just joined them at 8, they're going to blame you for being at 10. That's just how No, for real. He took a breath and she was triggered. Honestly, it's just, yeah. Bark is worse than a bite. Yes, absolutely. Jasmina is very intolerant in a nasty way. It honestly surprises me that they even ended in friendship at all because I don't know, the way that she would, okay, so you come into the relationship wanting a marriage, right? And the person is harping on the fact that you are just a friend. I'm not attracted to you. My vagina doesn't get wet for you. I have no desire for you. All these kinds of things. Child, I don't even want to be your friend at that point. I don't even want to be your acquaintance. I don't even want to be in the same area code. Just leave me, And so when you mix that with the way that they were constantly bickering, the way that she would talk about him, it wasn't nice. And it felt very nasty. It felt very mean girlish, as we've been calling her throughout the season. And I mean, I'm glad that they were able to have a breakthrough. I'm glad that they had a breakthrough, but nah. Jasmina's worse than Alyssa. At least Chris didn't waste um and every seven yeah. I'm with you as well. I think that Jasmina and Alyssa, same group chat. Same group chat. However, Alyssa could not hide her frustration, whereas Jasmina kind of could. And unfortunately for Michael, he kept enough hope alive that he was kind of blind to what she was showing him, right? So it was interesting to me how close they were sitting. I think I have another picture of them. How close they were sitting, but they are not together, obviously, right? And um, she said that at the end of the day, the attraction wasn't there. She got the ick basically in the first few days with the way that they were bickering back and forth, and that romantic feelings had never been there from the jump. My thing is, why wouldn't you just say that? Why wouldn't you just say that? Like, I don't know what was so hard for her to express early on. Hey, listen, it's not there for me. And if we're going to make it anywhere, here, and here needs to improve. Rather than, dangling hope in front of this man's eyes. And I'm not absolving him of anything. But I'm saying she was keeping hope alive for this little man. Ooh, stop. She was keeping hope alive for this man, knowing damn well she didn't see it going anywhere. It was off from the jump, right? And then you have Michael, who says that after decision day, they decided not to live together, right? It took 12 days for them to call. It took 12 days for them to call things off. And ultimately, he said he wasn't getting the reassurance that he wanted. When were you ever receiving assurance in this? When? When were you ever? And then to make matters worse, he admitted to not even trying to romance her. He never really told her she was beautiful. He didn't really woo her, charm her. Like, he actually admitted to this, right? And then on top of that, you had Jasmina, who was wanting him to make a move, but also told him she's not comfortable with it, and then was upset with him that he didn't make a move. Just a hot ass mess, all of them. Get that check, mama. Okay. A hot ass mess. Didn't make any sense. Jasmina started to like Mike, but he never made a move in the end, and he friendzoned himself. Jasmina should have asked for what she wanted instead of wanting him to read her mind. I'm on the fence with that statement because I think he was friendzoned from the jump, honestly. He was friendzoned from the beginning. If you remember, even on the honeymoon, the things that they would talk about, they would either fight about how you fight with people or share these stupid childhood embarrassing stories. And I'm like, this doesn't nurture a relationship. These are things that you talk about with your buddy. Like, these are, you know what I mean, with an acquaintance. He was friendzoned from the jump. And she said, she only got more attracted to him in the latter half of the season, where she was seeing how kind and caring and compassionate he is. But again, that still didn't lead to attraction. It built some intrigue for him, but she still wasn't attracted to him. Listen, that's our motto over here. Always go to therapy. Come over here. Let me therapize you with my bachelor's. I know I ain't got a doctorate, but shoot, we need to do something. This was a waste of a perfectly good relationship. Unfortunately, they were both immature and couldn't overcome the hurdles. I agree with you. I think that they really could have been something if they had looked past the pettiness, if they had looked past the stupid arguments, and they had really given it a good try. The reality is that first month was a nail in the coffin. It was a nail in the coffin, and there was no resurrecting it, to be honest. Yeah. I don't like how Jasmina always skates by. Let's go into your past, Jasmina. There's also that. She makes it seem like, him going through all this trauma, him being closed off, him da-da-da-da, like that's what aided or I guess didn't aid the relationship. Whereas literally, like, I don't like putting, daddy issues, mommy issues on them, but her tumultuous childhood plays an enormous factor in how you show up in relationships. The fact that all her relationships prior, if I'm not mistaken, were all long distance, it seems like commitment is something that she cannot do. And if you think about it, everybody in her life who was supposed to be committed to her, who was supposed to be present for her, who was supposed to show up for her, didn't. So maybe it's easier to keep people at an arm's length so that when they disappoint you, you're not hurt as bad as you would be if you truly let them in. And I think that that's what she did with Michael, where it was like, let me find all the issues that I can find with you so that I'm vindicated when you don't show up in the way that you promised that you would. Well, then no relationship is ever going to work. Ever. If you're constantly looking for the wrongs, if you're constantly looking for somebody to abandon you, eventually they will. It's, what is it called? Self-fulfilling prophecy. That's all she did the entire damn season. But we want to go into Michael's past and how his traumas leads into... Anyways. They both have avoidant attachment styles. It was never going to work. I agree with you. Jasmina most definitely has abandonment issues. Most definitely. And until she addresses that, honestly, no relationship is going to work. Even right now, they did settle as friends, and it seems like friendship is what's best for them. She's not dating right now, whereas Michael is. And I would find it hard to believe that Michael was this big issue. Yeah, he's kind of been able to get back on the saddle, whereas you... And I'm not saying there's a time limit on when you should start dating again. I'm not saying that. But I think Jasmina could turn a mirror to herself and examine herself a little bit more rather than looking at Mike and where he fell short all the time. Yeah. I could see that definitely, Daniel. I could absolutely see that for sure. We saw him try several times that were romantic, so he just putting himself down by saying he didn't try to romance her. It was on the show. I think what they mean is like flirt. I think he would do romantic gestures like, oh, let's renew our vows, or let's go dancing, let's whatever. However, that kind of like charm, that kind of like, listen, y'all know what it feels like when a man is feeling you and he just be looking at you up and down, or he just, grabs your shoulder as he walks by, pulls you in, caresses you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think that's what they meant by romance. Like, maybe they meant flirting or wooing, charming. And he didn't do that. And that I can absolutely see. Absolutely. He was so timid to begin with. And then her expressing that she wasn't ready. And then on top of that, she wasn't attracted. Like, let somebody tell you they don't get wet for you. Why am I going to tell you you look cute? For what? Wasting my breath. What? Yes, Queenie, because she always needed to be right about... She needs to be right about in their disagreements, the condescending projecting past issues, and the lack of self-awareness. Frustrating to see. Did she low-key bark him down? Child, not even low-key. Michael didn't give the damn "you're beautiful" that we need. And that's just the basics. That's just the basics. You couldn't tell the woman she's beautiful? Come on, man. Come on. If I was in the... Michael would be someone I avoid. Yikes. I think they both need therapy and time to work on themselves, not new relationships. Honestly, with the exception of, not flirting with her and then him lying about having female roommates, I can see Michael being ready for a relationship, though. I feel like on more occasions than not, he was open to communication, about their communication. He was open to reform. He was open to, what are the steps that we can take in order to be better? Like, I don't think it's wrong for him to date. I don't. Now, that's not to say he doesn't need to go to therapy. I think we all do. And I also want to make it a habit that we don't put therapy on people who have these overt issues, you know? I feel like therapy is beneficial for everybody, whether you're in a good space or a bad space. So, of course, everybody needs therapy. Everybody has something they could work on. But if I'm looking at a lot of the people in this cast, I do think Michael is a little bit more ready than a lot of the other people. I do. I do. I do. I do. No. 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 No, 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 no. 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 Absolutely not. Reason being, child, if I went through what Paige went through, first of all, I would need rehab for my experience with Chris. And then I would need rehab for having to have my story shared on national television. And I mean rehab, not therapy. I like a whole rehab facility. I had something else on the two of them. Oh, Jasmina thinks she put in more work in this relationship. So apparently she would message him to talk every day. Now, after the camera's cut, I don't know, right? But she says she put in more effort to, message him, talk to him, and he wouldn't really give her the energy back. I think she also thinks that during the process, she put in more effort to make things go wrong. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. Point blank period. Okay, moving on to I'm crying. Moving on to Noi and Steve. Mercy God. So they are still married. However, she's hesitant on taking his last name, and they still live in. Well, okay, they live together 6 days out of the week. She still has her old apartment, but they are together, and they live in his apartment, and they are going to therapy, and it's a lot with them too. It's a lot. It's a lot with them too. I don't really know how to feel about Noi and Steve. Um, so apparently Steve still doesn't have a job, but he gave her a deadline on when he would start the job search if searching for a job is what they need. Honestly, I think he's just waiting for this, MAFS thing to really pop off, and so he can be an influencer. That's no shade. No, I have no problem people being an influencer. Listen, I'm a YouTuber. You got to get in where you fit in, right? However, just say that. Stop saying things like, oh, I can't go to work because I need time to dream. I need space to be a creative. Say you want to be an influencer, babe. Mercy. Ugh. Child. I'm going to get into that. Not annoying. So yeah, they are in therapy. I think that there's potential, but I'm looking at Noi for a lot of the growth that needs to happen in their relationship, because there's a lot of simple concepts that she just wasn't understanding. Living in the same place, being a married couple, trying to raise a family, it wasn't really clicking for her. The fact that always airing out your business on social media wasn't clicking for her. The fact that a man can have investments that bring in revenue or past projects that, has turned into passive income, it just wasn't clicking for her. And I'm just like, What's not clicking, Steven? Like, babe, no, 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 no. I feel like a lot of the growth is on her. And again, that does not absolve the partner of his pitfalls. I think he definitely has some work to do as well. Even Sriracha was talking about, the man be condescending and stuff. I could kind of see that. I could kind of see how he talks down to her as a child. But her behavior be childish. So how else do you talk to her? You know what I mean? He would end up taking care of the children and everything else. I knew he had to have money. You guys are saying he's money bags. Steve got crypto. He does. He does, but it wasn't making sense to her. I don't know why. I don't know why. Didn't watch. Did we ever get clarification on what his finances are? So we didn't get an actual number, right? But he did say he has investments. He has crypto. He is still getting passive income from like the app that he developed or whatever other projects that he's done in the past. So he has revenue. It's just not from a 9 to 5. It's not from a clock in type of job. And he did say on the show that like freelancing is how he makes his money. He doesn't have to clock in. He can get a job, maybe a 3-month stint, 3 to 6 months, who knows, maybe a year or something, and he'll be set for however long. So Noi did say she needed 40K on the after show to feel comfortable. Steve confirmed that if it's 40K she wants, then she ain't got nothing to worry about. In this reunion, she basically said, listen, I ain't got no worries anymore. So I don't know if he showed her the bank account, which he could have done a long time. Just show her the damn statement. And we could have been over this long time. They say they want kids in a year. Why would you do that? Because kids in a year means you got to be working now. Like working to have a child now. Listen, that's their marriage, not mine. That's their marriage, not mine. Sure did. Sure did. Will crypto crash today? So how is Listen, Alexis, I don't know. Don't ask me questions. I have no idea. So speaking of Sriracha, Sriracha comes up on the screen, right? And I don't know if I was misreading the vibe, but she's not with the marriage. She's not with it. She says that Noi can express herself more, which is true, but not just express herself. I would like to amend that statement and say articulate herself, because she has no problem talking, especially to social media, but she has a problem properly articulating what her feelings and frustrations are and how she sees them moving past this hurdle that they have, whatever hurdle that it is. And then she said that Steve is condescending the way that he talks to her. Sometimes he talks down to her like she's a child or whatever, right? And then she called their marriage cute. I don't know about y'all, but if my brothers ever called my relationship cute or, wasn't enthusiastic about my union, I'ma head out, bro. I'ma head out. I'ma head out. I'ma head out, because what are you seeing that you don't want to say? What are you seeing that you don't want to tell me? What's happening? Don't sit on the sidelines and let me fall into this bullshit, and then I got egg on my face. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Oh, some of y'all know about investments and all that stuff. Listen, I know nothing. The last guy I was talking to, oh my gosh, he was so into crypto and stocks and stuff, and I was like, you make money? Okay. Listen, as long as the money is coming in, if the check's clear, I don't care. If the check's clear, I don't care. Yeah, I don't know why they were saying, I'm not going to put these comments up, but I don't know why they were saying, oh, Sriracha's a star. Where? Honestly, I felt like Sriracha was kind of annoying. I think some of like the grilling questions that she was asking was almost like she was a mouthpiece for Noi, but I'm like, why can't Noi say these things? And on top of that, like, you're not really giving Steve the space to explain, the space to say. But then on top of that too, I felt like Steve was kind of skirting around certain topics. And I understand he wanted to have these conversations with Noi first before delving into it with Sriracha. But like, I wasn't a fan of Sriracha. I wasn't. Just make sure they're clear. The check didn't bounce? Better, we good, baby. We good. They need to stay out of Noisy's marriage. I think they hate Steve because he took... Honestly, there might be a hint of resentment from Sriracha. And Sriracha confuses me too. I'm trying to say they because I don't know what they identify as. But yeah, like sometimes she's like a champion and sometimes she's like bitter and sometimes, I don't know, Sriracha confusing. Sriracha confusing. Thank you. Because what I saw on Twitter and on YouTube was not that Sriracha was a star. Where? Anyways. What else do I have about Noi and Steve? That's it. So we are moving on. Last but not least, Mark and Lindsay. Now, I know y'all got a lot to say about Lindsay, so go ahead. Get it off your chest. This is the time. This is the time. This is the time. Okay. So she says that off-camera Mark is on his phone a lot, and she doesn't really pay a lot of attention to him. He doesn't pay a lot of attention to her. Well, baby, you're a lot. And sometimes we just need to decompress from you. Okay? Okay? So, oof. Cha. Hey, Antisar. Who looked great? Lindsay? Honestly, Lindsay didn't look good. I can't lie. Can't hate. Can't hate. She looked good. She looked good. Here y'all go. I know y'all don't like them. I know y'all don't like them. She absolutely was plotting San Francisco before decision day. That girl was looking for her exit expeditiously. Okay. So yeah, she does look cute. We can't be, you know, we can't be rude. When compliments need to be given, they are given, all right? So he says he didn't want to meet her where she was in conflict because they'd be going back and forth forever. And honestly, like, even the fact that at the opening of the reunion, she took an opportunity to jab at him, I'm just like, at some point, this would be exhausting for anyone. Like, I know in my family, our love language is insults, but you know the line. Right? And it's never out of malice. It's never out of judgment. It's never out of criticism. It's honestly because we like to bust each other's balls, right? Even though I don't have any. But the way that Lindsay says things to him, it's purposely to dig. It's purposely to kind of, what's the word? You know, like when you have a bad dog and they do like shock therapy? It's like she's doing shock therapy to him. Let me demean you. Let me break down your character so much that you just behave so that I don't have to deal with your bad behavior. That's what I feel like Lindsay does to Mark. And Mark was literally like, I've been bullied my entire life, and you are absolutely the worst bully I've ever encountered. I felt bad for Mark, little Mr. Chicken Finger Man. Absolutely emasculate him. Absolutely. Every opportunity she got to emasculate him, she did. Lindsay and Alyssa are absolutely one and the same. And I find it so hilarious that they both don't like each other. And I'm like, isn't like supposed to recognize like? Like, y'all the same. Y'all the same. Y'all the same. So Lindsay in this smile, she looked psychotic the whole time. She looked good because production... Y'all can read the rest. Yeah, the smile was almost giving vindictive. you know? Somebody who knows that they've been mean and just kind of like stands by it. You remember, was it last season or season before, whichever one had Mirla and Gil? Um, Sometimes like when she would laugh, it's almost like she was laughing at Gil. Like it was just, it felt very awkward to watch, and that's how I felt watching Lindsay. The smiles, the breaking him down. I was just like, damn. Ola and Lindsay tried to break their spirits to make them feel so low that the only person they can depend on is them. Psychological warfare, for sure. Absolutely, for sure. So she said that she stayed married at decision day because he kept supporting her. Mm, mm. And he said he stayed because of the little glimmers of hope. And in the past, he had ended relationships prematurely. Well, Mark, if we're being honest, have you really ended any relationships in the past? Because if I remember correctly, he's been a side. Ooh, don't say that word. He's been a side dude. He has been cheated on. He has been in a relationship that he thought was a relationship, but it wasn't a relationship. He was just given the runaround. Like, what do you mean you left prematurely? Like, what are you talking about? Because it seems like you're the one getting left. And again, here you are getting left. Like, it's a pattern, my boy. Come on. Come on. She absolutely has a maniacal laugh. And I think she takes pleasure in like coming off as a villain like that, coming off as kind of psychotic. It's weird. Lindsay isn't perfect, but I like her. Mark and Katina need a backbone. You know what? I feel like there's things of Lindsay that I feel like other people could have taken from her. But Lindsay as a whole and Lindsay married to Mark, I was not pleased. I was not pleased. I don't know why it's putting my face on you, but yes. Yes, yes, yes. What else happened with them? So they're not together because they worked on his home, and she feels like he used him for the 7 days to remodel his family home, right? They had a big blowout where she claims he wanted to kick her out, wanted to, I guess, call the authorities, change the locks, all that kind of stuff. Simultaneously, she had already given up her apartment. Somebody else was renting it those same days. Apparently, something happened on social media as well. Like, it's. And so this is where Mark confuses me. I feel like Lindsay is kind of deranged enough. Don't say words like that. Lindsay is erratic enough. Is that better? I don't think so. She's so spacey. She's so touch and go here and there all over the place that her staying didn't quite surprise me. However, like Mark had experienced more bad days from what I saw than good days with her. And so the fact that he was holding on to glimmers of hope was already concerning. And then them having the blowouts, it almost shocked him. And I was just like, but that's what's been happening this entire time. She's been blowing up on you this entire time. At every opportunity that she gets to yell at you, to emasculate you, to bring up your traumas, to bring up the current issues that he was going through, she would do it. Anything this man would go through would become ammo for her in an argument, right? So it's already been tumultuous throughout the season. How now are you shocked when y'all have a blow up? You're shocked? You're shocked. What are you shocked by? What are you shocked by? Alexis, do your thing with the blocking this person. Lindsay participates in setting up situations to have leverage to bully Mark. And he willingly complies. Erratic is more gentle than... All right. Thank you, Monique. I was trying to be a little bit softer. Mark wanted his house fixed and then wanted her gone. He's shady and petty, which is understandable, but he's also nearing 40. Just leave. Whew. Honestly, I think that Mark had his demons too, and unfortunately, Lindsay was just that out there of a person that it was easier to pin stuff on her. But I wouldn't be surprised if Mark was also being shady and petty. I wouldn't be surprised. And then he said his issue with her is that she exaggerates stories. She speaks half truths. And I'm like, I could see that. But I also could see how there's more to the story and how Lindsay isn't overreacting all the time. Potentially. Potentially. What do you think about what Steve said about Lindsay? I think she absolutely is missing. And I think that she did go to production and probably spill the tea on Noi and Steve because she likes to be that girl. She likes to be center of attention. She likes to be in the know. She likes to, have one up on people. So, yeah, yeah. The best thing Lindsay said tonight was that she moved to Cali, far, far away from Mark. Absolutely. He got his house fixed and threw Lindsay out with the old furniture. Mercy God. Her stating he had no intellect was a low blow, and she still has no self-awareness when Kevin called her out. Man, she was like, he's not man enough for me. I wanted somebody to check me and tell me, no, Lindsay, don't do that. How about you be an adult? How about you have self-regulation where you don't need another grown man to come and tell you what behavior is and isn't appropriate? Why do you need somebody to check you at your big age? I get it. Sometimes we do need to be checked. But to deliberately look for somebody to check you, and honestly, Mark would. Mark would be, hey, I don't like that. No, don't grab me like that. No, hey, don't do that. Don't do it. I'm out. I try and I'm out. Y'all don't make no damn sense. I hear you, D'Souza. I hear you. I'm the same. What was another thing that happened between them? Ooh, she believes that she upgraded his life entirely. She said, you wouldn't have the job that you have right now without me. You wouldn't have the salary without me. Your house wouldn't be updated without me. You wouldn't have lost weight without me. Listen, let me tell you something. I wish to have that much self-confidence in my life where I think I'm that much of a blessing in everybody's life. Like, you wouldn't be nothing without me, basically, is what she said. You ain't shit without me. Ooh. Okay. She put that thing on him. She changed his life. She's such a narcissist and egotistical. Yeah, she's next level, man. When she read her letter, my jaw dropped that she listed out everything she did for Mark. She's not okay. She's not okay, y'all. She's not okay. Lindsay talks in third person. I gave up the Lindsay magic. No, she is deranged. Jessica, you know what kills me about Lindsay? Lindsay is like, guys, what was that? The Tinder swindler. My enemies are after me. Okay. Lindsay thinks she is God's gift to mankind. And that if anybody says anything that goes against her, it's because they're dimming her magic. They don't want to see her shine. They don't want to see her thrive. She's an amazing person, and how dare they try to tear her down? What are you talking about? Are you okay? What magic? The only magic she pulled out of her hat, child, was getting Mark to eat some vegetables. Siri, play Let Me Upgrade You. No, for real. I mean, the letter was pure gold. Can't lie. She'll get checked in Cali. It's going to be funny. Child, I would love to see it. Watch their segment, Monique. It was a lot. After they run her out of Cali, she will be in Florida next. Mercy, world tour, Lindsay on tour, eh? She loves to travel. She loves to explore different cultures. Okay, maybe it's via the penis. They don't want to see her be great. They don't. They're preying on her downfall. How dare they? How dare they? Ciao. mm. Mercy. Um, the one that made the man run 1 or 2 weeks before the wedding. What are you talking about, Chindy? Callie is dead. Good luck to her. LMAO. It's really dry out there besides hookups. And maybe that's all she wants. She's going to get swindled by the next Tinder swindle. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised at all. They have her... Most definitely. Most definitely. Feral. Oh, stop. Elaine. Stop. Don't be mean. See, y'all. Y'all letting my filter come off, and that's not good. I'm supposed to be the good person on here. Because I'm a good person. Lindsay and Jasmina might as well marry their pets. It's getting to that point. Andrea, a lot of people have asked me to do Tinder Swindler. Honestly, watching white people scam, I'm like, what's new? This is just life. I don't know. I can't get into it. I can't. Oh no, didn't we go through it? Isn't it Andrea? Damn, I'm sorry. I forgot. I'm not taking off the filter. I'm not taking off the filter. Y'all don't want to know who I really am behind this camera. Nope. Not doing it. Also, YouTube is my full-time job. Okay. If I get canceled, I'm going to be with Mark having no job. And Steve. Maybe Steve better give me a cut of that 40K or something. I can't take Lindsay in another poor performing Staples. Now you coming for the brassiere? Mercy. All right. Any last comments before we end on the reunion part 1? We will be doing the same thing for part 2, going live. Maybe I'll put up a poll on whether or not I should review the next season, because I know when I said this was the last season, some of y'all came to my personal DMs. Not impressed with me. I can come back. The show is so exhausting. This show is so exhausting, man. Oh my gosh. Did y'all watch Our Father? It's on my list. Yes, like the video, please. Show me some love. Thank you, Sunny Days. Thank you, JoJo. Y'all better let them know. But yeah, I mean, overall, if we're talking about reunions, I think this was one of the better reunions that MAFS has had, for sure. I am interested to see what kind of discussions they're going to have next week, because it seems like everything that the people were saying this episode, talking about, oh, I've changed in this way, I've evolved, blah, 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 they're going to regress. So I don't understand what's happening. The couples who are still together, I'm not surprised. And y'all know me, I wish everybody well. Goodness sakes, whether I agree or disagree, I wish them well. I just hope that watching yourself back in this way gives you a new sense of, self-awareness. And it's not just, lip service, you know? Like, I don't want to hear Olajuwon say the things that sound good. I want him to do the good things for his own betterment, not just because, you know, now he has to show up better for Katina. Show up better for yourself. Point blank and the period. Love and Marriage DC. Okay. I'll say this before I go. I was supposed to do the review for it last episode, but y'all know I was away this last week, right? I'm conflicted between doing reviews and doing watch parties because, quite frankly, I don't really like that type of reality show. I normally like reality shows with like some kind of incentive, or like a dating show, or there's money at the end, or it's competition, you know what I mean? So yeah, I haven't started, but it's on the list of things to start. I'm just conflicted on whether or not to do watch parties or just reviews. So we'll see. We will see. Katina's family needs to go rescue her if they're still together at this point. Did Katina's family ever show up? Throughout the process, did Katina's family ever show up? Hmm. Interesting. Yes, I do watch The Circle. I was supposed to review that too, but honestly, I found it difficult to review. Anyway, since we're getting off topic, I'm going to love y'all and leave y'all. The Monday live will be back this next Monday. I think it's going to be the last one for a while because Love Island is starting up early June. So if y'all just want to chat about the most random things, Monday is the time to do that. It'll probably be like 7 p.m. Eastern or something like that. So stay tuned for that. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Married at First Sight people, we'll see you next week. And stay on the lookout for the poll on whether or not I should do next season, because if the majority says no, then I'm just not going to do it. If y'all say yes, I'll bite the bullet. And I'm going to do it. All right. Y'all be blessed. I'm going to love y'all and leave y'all. Not her mom showed up at the wedding. That's not good enough. And see you next week. Bye.